So legally, I'm not gonna say any more because I genuinely don't want any problems. Also, Ollie Ashley has already got Ivorian Doll in a chokehold, and being choked just isn't my kind of thing. Plus, I can't afford a lawyer anyways. You know, this YouTube shit doesn't really pay, so subscribe, innit? Subscribe. And if you don't, and you see me posting on my OnlyFans link after this, close your eyes. Unless you like size 12 feet.
Giggity, 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 ooh, ooh, ah, ah.
Flipping hell, man. I had to split this video into 2 parts because I talk a lot. I talk a lot. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Because are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? I mean, I've got some more dark humor jokes up my sleeve if you want. How about this one? Okay, how about this one? Knock, knock. Who's there? Not Madeline Mechanic. Okay, I'm a bastard. And I deserve to be cancelled. But, you know, something fishy's going on over there. Fishy's going on. Because they have been looking for that youth before Christ, and to this day, they still haven't found anything. Madeline, my dear, you're old enough now. You've enjoyed your time at Afro Nation. It's time to come home. Anyways, I'm going off topic again. Radio. Right, so we've spoken in some length about the national radio stations that push black music. And while I'm here, I just want to big up some of the DJs on One Extra from over the years. DJ Ace, Reggie Yates, Target, Yasmin Evans, Clara Antho, and many, many more. I can go on. I can really go on. And I have to say this, man, you lot genuinely inspired me and made me feel like, you know what? Maybe one day I could join the station. Who knows? Well, that is if the Queen hasn't kicked me out of the country yet. Or better still, if they don't kick me out of the country, hopefully they don't magically make me end up in a tunnel in Paris in 1997. I'll let that joke simmer for a few seconds. Now, it would be impossible for me to talk about black radio without mentioning the 3 R's. Reprezent Radio, Rinse FM, Radar Radio. And if we're keeping it 100, there is no black music in this country without these 3 radio stations. They played a pivotal role in developing the culture. Blech, buzzwords, I hate them. And I want to start with Reprezent Radio because that's actually a place where I spent 5 years of my life.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you
for
very
having me.
No, thank you for coming down. Obviously, I just thought I needed to get somebody different because usually we have singers on the show, we have artists, we have rappers, but I thought let's dip into something a little bit different and something a bit new.
Ah, just look at him. So happy and optimistic about life. Before the music industry sucked his ideas and crushed him. I laugh, but I'm sad. Jokes aside though, I really wanted to be a radio presenter, like really, really badly. I remember the year was like 2011 and I heard Twin B on the radio for the first time. And no lie, it was in that moment that I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life. Chat shit and talk about music. It's kind of what I'm doing now, but not quite the same. Anyways, Representing Radio with a Z and not an S. And now that it's been a couple of years since I worked there, low-key is a very shit name, but whatever. So the station was set up all the way back in 2011 in South London. And initially, the station would focus on issues around gun and knife crime. And as popularity grew, it was then granted a license by the council to broadcast all across London. The key USP of Represent was that it was all about the young people. You had presenters as young as age 13 hosting their own shows on an FM licensed radio station, which is unheard of even to this day. Represent was the place you needed to be if you wanted to discover all the new emerging music talent way before any other radio station. Represent helped to break the likes of J Hus, Section Boys, Nadia Rose, Georgia Smith, Kojo Funds, Notes, Cadet Rest in Peace, and of course, Stormzy.
That's feeling good, you know.
I'm trying to keep composed, you get me?
Yeah.
The first time on radio and that.
Hey, listen, are you hearing that? Represent, this is his first time on radio. And who did he come to see?
Kenny All-Star.
The Stormzy story is a funny one, and I'm not going to go into too much detail right now because I do have another episode about him coming up later in the series. But, bro, Stormzy was always at Represent. Like, he was always there. At one point, I was actually starting to think, bro, do you live here? But Reprezent Radio was the first major platform to show Stormzy love. Stormzy even had his own show on the station called The Stiff Chocolate Show, which is a interesting choice of name. I'm not gonna go any further on that. Nope, I refuse to. So many new artists were coming through the doors of Reprezent Radio way before anyone in the mainstream knew who they were. And it was basically a hub for all things new talent. Not only did it contribute to giving these new artists a platform, Reprezent gave birth to a lot of the radio presenters and personalities we now have in the UK. Kenny Allstar, Snoochie Shy, Reese Parkinson, Mim Shake, Jeremiah Asiyama, Jam Supernova, Afro B, Henry, Munya Chihuahua, Remy Bergs, and some guy called Ore. I don't know, you might have heard of him. Dark skin brother, sexy, great smile.
But you look like storms. It's not that deep, but I gotta give you corn. Your forehead's dead, your hairline's dead, your trousers are dead. What are those legs? My eyes are small, but so is your back. Sneak bow with a dagger. Hey, calm the track.
But yeah, man, shout out Reprezent because they really did their thing, man. Okay, on to the next R. Radar Radio. This one's a sticky one. Because I'm not going to run jokes, and I don't know if I should even think about running jokes for this particular section because, long story short, Radar Radio is no longer with us. They had to shut down because there were numerous allegations of sexual assault and an overall toxic working environment. Now, they never really addressed the allegations. They just put out this tweet and then proceeded to disappear from the face of the earth. So legally, I'm not going to say any more because I genuinely don't want any problems. Also, Ollie Ashley has already got Ivorian Doll in a chokehold, and being choked just isn't my kind of thing. Plus, I can't afford a lawyer anyways. You know, this YouTube shit doesn't really pay, so subscribe, innit? Subscribe. And if you don't, and you see me posting on my OnlyFans link after this, close your eyes. Unless you like size 12 feet.
Giggity, 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 giggity. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah.
So, Radar Radio, where do we begin? You know what? In fact, let's start with their slogan. Radar Radio's slogan was, tune in or sound like a lovely bunch, eh? As much as I'm taking the piss, one thing about Radar that I did like was the fact that it was just anti-establishment. The media is very PC. There's a lot of, ooh, you can't say that, ooh, you can't do that. But Radar Radio basically ripped up the rule book, gave a massive 2 fingers to the media elite, and did whatever the hell they wanted. It was kind of like pirate radio being brought to the digital age. And I say all of that, and I've already mentioned the individual, but when you do your Googles and you do a little research and you look into who actually owned Radar, things start to get a little bit fishy because Radar Radio was owned by none other than Ollie Ashley, who is the son of Sports Direct and former Newcastle owner Mike Ashley, who is, if you didn't know, a rich white billionaire, because there aren't any rich white billionaires in the world. Anyways, make of that what you wish. By the way, there seems to be a common theme here of white people being in black spaces and profiting off of it. But politics aside, and I'm really trying to look aside from the politics, I'm going to give credit where it's due, because I must say the station's content and branding was flipping brilliant, genuinely brilliant.
Hey yo, what's poppin'? It's your girl Cardi B. You watching Radar Radio? Tune in or fuck off and go jerk off.
T-shirt culture has always been a big thing here in the UK, but Radar Radio seemed to take it that one step further. I just remember randomly, loads of people just started popping up everywhere wearing these Radar Radio t-shirts, and it really did become a massive thing. As well as that, literally nobody could actually know where you could get them. It was kind of like gold dust, and it further added to this mystery and this elusive nature of the station. Then you actually look at some of the shows, and you look at one of the flagship shows on the station, which was Snoochie Shy's breakfast show, and you could see why the station became so popular. While I'm here, can I add, Snoochie Shy is genuinely a phenomenal broadcaster, like phenomenal presenter. I'm gonna go into radio geek mode for a moment. Her breakfast show on Radar might just be some of the best radio content you will ever see. Just have a look at what she got C-Biz to do when he came to the station for an interview.
Like to whip us up a kilo of Angel Delight.
Yeah, so that's what
We've
we're doing.
got butterscotch flavour and strawberry flavour though,
Yeah,
so it's
that's
up
what,
to you.
that's what we're going to find out. So make sure you're speaking to your mic.
I'm going to whip it how I like to whip it, and however comes out, comes out.
Okay, cool.
It's not going to be fluffy,
you've got one bowl here.
If you know why this is hilarious, you know. You really do know. And as much as it was great for CBS and good for the station, it was also a great moment for Snoochie Shy too. As well as that interview, there was also this fantastic moment on the show as well.
Over it.
I like your voice though, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of soft.
Thank you. Thank you. I like yours as well. Track soon, hopefully. That'd be great. Feature.
Get some late night phone call and that.
Of course, yeah. Pillow talk and that.
You ready for that?
You know, pillow talk. A little bit of pillow talk.
A little
be good.
pillow and that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We could talk in the daytime.
Trying to get UK artists and rappers to open up in an interview can be like trying to draw water from a stone. No cap, all of these guys have zero personality. So to get them comfortable and to create some memorable moments was definitely a win-win for the station. And I know for a fact that other stations saw this, set up and started to take note, because they certainly weren't getting the engagement that Radar Radio was. As well as Snoochie Shy, it seemed like hella people started to get shows on Radar. It semi-became influencer / clout FM. There was Kenny Allstar, there was Big Zoo, Free Shots of Tequila had a show on there, Slumflower, Chucky Online, P Montana, and of course, DJ Argue with that infamous Jammer interview.
Intelligence. Yeah, I'm not a little man. Yeah?
No one said you were,
you
bro.
again one more time.
Bruv, I'm not going to answer that question.
Do YouTube pay for views?
Why are you shouting for, bruv?
Bruv, do YouTube pay for views? Yes or
I
no?
don't know. I'm not in charge of the YouTube
you
stuff.
Don't know. You don't know that.
Jam, like, bro, like, do you know what? Let's just stop the interview here. Let's just stop it. Let's stop the interview here.
Nothing. I'm on. You're not stopping.
Yes, I am. It's my show, bro.
No, you're not. Bruv, are you mad?
Jam, like, bruv, come on, bruv.
Don't come on me, bruv. I'll fucking go mad in it.
Bruv.
Are you mad? Listen.
Last, and by no means least, we have Rinse FM, who are kind of like the fathers in this thing. They basically had to run so a lot of these other stations could walk. The real OGs. And in fact, now that I think about it, these guys have been around longer than I've been alive. And they are still a very ever-present force in UK radio. And they have a great story and history as well. Rinse FM is real original pirate material. You're locked in the streets, locked down your aerial. And if you know the reference, you know. And if you don't, you're way too young. So go watch some Jesse Nelson or something like that, you know, the Bad Boys and all them things. Or maybe I'm old. Am I? Who knows? Anyways, all ages matter. All ages matter. Unless you're an innocent young black man walking through London with a hood on and being constantly criminalised by the right-wing media and government, telling you that you have no fathers in your life and you are destined for a life of crime and violence. But anyways, I digress.
In 2011, a Pittsburgh study linked 86% of stories with black males to crime, and only 2.7% of stories were about education, leadership, or community. Study after study shows that the media is such a powerful tool that it can shape your perspective.
Set up by Slimzy and Genius all the way back in 1994, these men were broadcasting shows in the most DIY of conditions. These shows were literally coming live from their bedrooms for like the best part of 16 years. They had no financial backing, no investors. It was literally just them, a microphone, and a couple of mixers. To make matters even worse, these men basically had to duck and dive the police almost every day, because if you know anything about pirate radio, you will know that, I mean, to put it very bluntly, it's illegal. You need the right documentation and you need to have the right licensing in order to broadcast on the airwaves. Now, I don't want to make it about race, you know. I haven't got a racist bone in my body. I don't know about you, but I don't. I love Mo Farah, Usain Bolt. I eat jerk chicken and jollof on the weekends. And my best mate Femi, well, obviously he's black, so I can't be racist. It's definitely, most definitely, it's definitely not a race thing.
So, is it true? Is it better?
Wow. Fairer skin has been in favor for the past, couple of hundreds of years. But now the pendulum is swung back. Black is in fashion.
But why is it that anytime black art is involved or black creatives are trying to get a seat at the table, the media elite or the powers that be make it so difficult for us? I don't know. Somebody's probably watching this right now thinking, great, another black man with a chip on his shoulder. You should be grateful for everything this country has given you. Do you know what my response to that is? How about you suck your mum with a Capri Sun straw through the hole in their leggings? Huh? How about you do that? Anyways, I'm digressing again.
It's Rinse on 003 in the daytime, Christmas Day. Like I care, you get me? Like I even care what day it is. Hold tight Bashy, suck your mum on Christmas Day. Hold tight Lethal, you can suck your mum as well on Christmas Day. Yeah, boy. That's how I feel on Christmas Day. Hold tight all them people at home smiling, yeah? Suck your mum. Take the...
One of the most iconic things about Rinse is that it's largely responsible for giving grime a platform. Because at the time, no other station, no other media company would even go anywhere near the genre. It's too violent. Too black. But with Rinse, it was the place where we first discovered some of the legends we have in our scene today. Wiley, Dizzy Rascal, Roll Deep, Tinchy Strider, Noom Generals, Butters, Spyro, and once again many others. As well as that, who can forget some of the most legendary shows and some of the most legendary sets on the station too.
Creep on the rhythm like a spider, see this one's called Tarantula. I feel sorry for the next generation of Black Star IP Mandela. It's a mad world, black boy, this in black girl, sick of the black pill, but he couldn't handle her. What a F boy, pen is alert though, up goes my answer now, rags.
Now we can't talk about Rinse without giving a shout out to the ladies of Rinse FM 2, Julie Adenuga. Dad, I know if you're watching this, you're ashamed of how I pronounced that Nigerian surname. I'm sorry, I let you down, forgive me. I'm not worthy. But Julie Adenuga, who is one of my favourite presenters ever, genuinely, and I mean that, her drive time show on Rinse effectively solidified her as not only one of the best broadcasters in this country, but as a true connoisseur of new UK music. As well as Julie, obviously we've got to talk about Cyan Anderson, who is a legend, who's an actual legend, my G, Cyan. And when you think of Cyan, if you're from the UK and from this scene, you literally think about grime immediately. And as well as Julie and Cyan Anderson, there was Maya Jama, who's Maya Jama. I mean, do I really need to say any more? Possibly one of the most booked and busy presenters in the country right now. Started her beginnings at Rinse FM.
Shows power.
Yeah.
I need to work on one of mine. Are you going to teach me how to do a pose like you lot? Okay, all right, I see how it is. So, Steve, what's your picture face then?
What
do you do?
Just normal, just sort of...
Just a bit lost.
Face, show me your normal face.
So regardless of what you think about radio, it's still super important in pushing black music to the masses, and it's still going to be around even in the streaming era. Reprezent Radio, Radar Radio and Rinse FM are most definitely responsible for that growth that we've seen over the years. But I must admit, there's a new kid on the block, and this new kid, well, it has no signal. It just wasn't cool to be black. It wasn't cool. Let's not try and sugarcoat it. Let's not try and pretend, yeah? Because we all know that one guy whose name was Sean, but went around telling man that his name was Sean. Or we all know that one brother called Winga who told everybody that his name was GB. You're a fraud. Like GB News, you're a fraud.